The recent Corruption Performance Index report reveals that Gambia has dropped from 96 in 2019 to 102 corrupt nations out of 180 countries in 2021, which has triggered a different opinion among Gambians. Marr Nyang, Executive Director of Gambia Participates, a civil society organization, told EyeAfricaTV that fighting corruption in the Gambia needs collaborative efforts from all sectors. Binta Jallo reports.
Despite the former Justice Minister Abubakar Tambedu presenting the anti-corruption bill to the National Assembly for consideration in December 2019, the bill has since been stuck at the Parliament despite several calls for it to be considered and approved by the lawmakers. Marr Nyang, Executive Director of Gambia Participates, says the recent CPI's report indicates that more needs to be done to combat corruption in the Gambia. He observed that the authority needs to take a leading role in the fight against corruption in the West African nation.
My reaction is corruption is now becoming more diversified than it has ever been before. We were doing well, pretty well, somewhere in 2017 to 2018 compared to our previous performance during Jammeh's era. But as time goes on, we have seen the fight against corruption fading away, and the increase of corruption, being realized in every part of the system. When I'm talking about the system, actually referring to the machinery that's supposed to run this country, and that machine is, if I can use this word to describe it, I mean, the lubricant that's supposed to make the machine to work efficiently is not there. And as a result of that, the government's effort towards, curbing corruption has not been felt by the citizens and by the international organizations. And then also, most importantly, the facts that are there for the government to prove to us that they are fighting corruption are nowhere to be seen.
Nyang also lamented on the public sector's bad performance in curbing corruption at public workplaces.
We have a very bad public sector, and our public service is rotting because of corruption. It doesn't really mean the financial aspect of corruption. It also has to do with the grand corruption or systematic corruption that is actually being felt in the public sector. And as a result, we've seen complaints from all and sundry, those in this country, especially in our areas of health and education. I mean, look at what COVID-19 has caused this country and the weaknesses that COVID-19 has exposed in our health sector and our economy. We've seen $1.6 billion that has been expended on COVID-19, but yet still the government cannot tell us exactly where those money has been spent. All they do is to give us a total amount that have been expended, but only for government local funds. They are not telling you how all other funds, like the grants that they have received and the loans that they have received, how they've been using that money to fund COVID-19 activities.
Gambia Participates is a youth-led civil society organization that focuses on enhancing transparency and accountability in the public sector. The organization also takes a leading role in combating corruption in the Gambia by leveraging modern digital tools and other methods to track the expenditure of the government and to engage people. Reporting for EyeAfricaTV, Binta Jallo.
That was Marr Nyang of Gambia Participates, who says in order to eradicate corruption in the country, collective efforts should be put in place.